So here we go, Travis Steffens.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having a lot enough voice to do this again. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I'm going to do the favorite thing that we all loved at school. We're going to pop a quiz real fast. So, I'm going to look for Gary Brecken's guy over here. Who was that, by the way? I never really got to see him. Kaz. There you are. Okay, yeah, we got to get acquainted. I love it. Awesome. So let's do a real quick recap because practice makes what?
Perfect.
No, it makes permanent. Practice makes permanent. So, what is the most important part of our body? That could be a little skewed. So let's roll with the nose, all right? So the nose is the most important part of the body. You can say it's heart and all these other things, but if we don't get this oxygen from the beautiful plants, 21.8% into the nasal passage, we're not going to live very long, right? Awesome. So we talked about two molecules yesterday. We talked about the oxygen molecule. We talked about what I think is the most important molecule on the planet, which is
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. So what does carbon dioxide's role play in making sure that you live a happy, healthy, long, fit life? Oxygen exchange is very important. So what is oxygen exchange? Your blood can be a high oxygen level, but your tissues can be starving. All right, let's get up. Let's come on. Come on, guys, you got this. So if we don't have enough carbon dioxide in the body and it's produced through movement, we won't get oxygenation into the what? Tissues. We'll get there, I promise. I was in school, I was the same way. Don't worry about it. So we need to make sure that we're breathing in the nose for a count of what? 5, and out the nose for a count of what?
6.
Yeah, do it. Yesterday's not a way. So, in the nose for 5, out the nose for 6, and we want to leave a little bit of a neutral lung. Remember what the number is? 70%. See, practice does make permanent. So, how many got up this morning and attempted breath work in their morning rituals? Nice, pretty good show of hands. So, let's talk about morning rituals real quick for a second. Morning rituals are the reason that I am who I am today. And in the process of morning rituals, you get to do the greatest thing that you could ever possibly do on this planet, which is define, declare, discover, and decide to know thyself. And in the process of knowing thyself, you get to define who I am, the I amness. And the I amness hides right where no one wants to look, which is where? Inside. So, morning rituals are so powerful, guys, and breath work is a great way to get into the deepest parts of meditation, to really be able to go inside and know thyself. And through the process of knowing myself, breath work helped me to reprogram things that no longer serve me, and helped me to become the grandest version, the greatest vision that I hold for myself. I believe that hell on earth is meeting the person that you could have been. And so your morning rituals are a key component in getting there. Okay? So we're going to do another fun little quiz test today. So Ryan's going to pull up a countdown timer. And we're going to do what's called a BOLT score. It's called the Body Oxygen Level Tolerance. Who's heard of it? Who's heard of Buteco, Oxygen Advantage, and one of the greatest people for breath on the planet, which is Patrick McCowan. Oxygen Advantage is a partner in the app. You'll find great cause on the app. Oxygen Advantage has helped tens of thousands of people. Buteco actually built the Buteco Clinic because there were so many people coming to him with these crazy illnesses that were quote unquote terminal, and he was fixing it through their breath because they were so carbon dioxide deficient that their tissues couldn't heal. So we've got this timer pulled up. Everybody see it there? Awesome. So the BOLT score is done in a certain way, and it's awesome because it allows you to take something home today that you can go home and you can improve over time, okay? So this is not a time to judge ourselves. So we don't want to put a label on this, and we don't want to think, man, I'm going to push it. You need to be really honest with yourself about this test today. No one else is going to know except your inner critic, which is the critic, it. So When we do this today, it's really important that you're honest with yourself and you do it properly. So how do we do the body oxygen level tolerance score, the full score? So everybody remember how to breathe properly? Everybody remember I stripped at some point? Okay. So body oxygen level tolerance. So we're going to breathe into our what? In through our nose and into our belly. We're going to use a diaphragmatic breath. So how does the belly breath go? We get the Buddha belly going on. Everybody's afraid of. Okay. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths when it's time. It's going to look like this. And then we're just going to press pause on life. You all did this yesterday, so it's nothing new. And you're just going to exhale and release. You don't need to exhale all the air out, just release and relax. And we're going to start the timer. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, exhale. And when I say exhale, you guys are just going to let go. And he's going to start the timer. I want you to go inside, close your eyes, and just relax. And I want you to only take a breath when you feel the urge to breathe. So I'm going to say that again. This is not a race. This is not a contest. You are not competing against your inner critic that thinks you need to push it. This is a test to tell you where your body oxygen level tolerance is. Now, we're high elevation right now, so keep that in mind. This will change if you live at sea level. So we're going to go inside and we're going to just hold until we feel an urge to breathe. It's called oxygen hunger. So what does oxygen hunger look like? It feels a little painful. Your eyebrows could start twitching. Your forehead could start twitching. And you'll feel yourself need to breathe. When you feel that first onset of oxygen hunger, I want you to open your eyes, take note of where the timer is at, and take a nice, smooth breath. If you take a breath like this, then you held it too long. I want you to be able to open your eyes and just and relax. And I want you to write down that score. So get your pens ready. I want you guys just to sit comfortably in your chairs, hands on your lap. And we're going to just breathe through the nose real quick and out through the mouth. In through the nose, just calmly out through the mouth. No specific count, just coming into tune with our breath. And when I count down to 1, we're going to go into 3 nice big breaths, filling up the lungs to about 80%, 70%, 80%, exhaling through the mouth. And then on the 3rd one, I'm going to count it down and we're going to exhale all the air out, just releasing. And then we're going to close our eyes and we're going to go inside. All right, so here we go. Starting the breaths in 3, 2, 1. And release. Start the clock. Okay. Just pressing pause on life. Go inside. Relax your arms, your legs, your mind. Just let go. When you feel the air hunger, let go and open your eyes and look at the clock. Okay? So I think we're past the point where you get enough data. So how did everybody feel on that? Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
All right. Ryan, Chris, can you reset the clock, buddy? So as soon as we count down, Chris, to that point, start it immediately as soon as I say exhale. All right, guys, come into your present state again. Close your eyes. Go inside, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Nice and calm and peaceful, relaxing all the muscles in the body. Starting the breath in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And release. Start the clock. Hold. Pressing pause on button. Letting go of all thought. Relaxing your arms, your legs, your mind, your eyes. Allowing the body to just release. When you feel the air hunger, open your eyes, look at the clock. Take a nice slow breath in. It's not a contest. Not seeing how good you are. Just being honest. All right, awesome. If anybody makes it past this point, you're at athletic level, so that's fantastic. So, what does the Bolt oxygen level tolerance score tell us? It's a Bolt score defined by Pacheco, optimized by Oxygen Advantage, 25 years of science behind it. If your Bolt score was less than 27, you're using 56% of your cognitive capacity. Okay, so some people might be like, oh shit, I was below 27, I was 15. What does that mean? My God. What it means is you have an awesome way to improve the quality of life. You have an awesome way to improve your memory. If you went past 45, you don't got much room to move. You're stuck. You get to those minutes, those like minute changes. And we can talk after this. But so anyways, when you're at athletic level, changes come very, very small. But when you're down below 27, you can do minor things to increase your cognitive function, your capability to remember, your capability to perform. So it's an exciting thing to go, look, I can change this and I can change it drastically. So those of you that were below 27, I encourage you to jump on the Breath Source app. Everybody has a card in front of them. Who doesn't have a card or who doesn't know about the Breath Source app? We're going to go through this in a minute. So anybody that doesn't have a card, Wendy's over here sitting down, video me. We can get you a card. And I'll talk about the Breath Source app in a minute. But we have the Bolt score on there with day number 1 in the 7-day trial period. You can go take a Bolt score again, and then you can go through our 7-day and our 14-day, and you can take the Bolt score again. And I guarantee you it will improve as long as you stay consistent with the training, okay? Because all that has to do with is carbon dioxide tolerance. Because when carbon dioxide is held within the lungs, it creates pain. That feeling of needing to breathe is not because you needed oxygen, it's because you had carbon dioxide in the body and your body is not tolerant to carbon dioxide because you're over breathing. Which means you're breathing so fast, you're pushing too much carbon dioxide out. And once carbon dioxide is used up as a molecule in the tissue, when it comes into the lungs, it becomes somewhat painful to the lungs to hold it. Okay? So that's the Bolt score. Everybody good on that? Awesome. Got your numbers written down? Great. So we're going to go through some stuff we didn't go through yesterday. My name's William Travis Steffens. Everybody calls me Travis. I'm the founder and CEO of the Breath Source app. It's the world's leading breathwork marketplace app. It's the only one in the world like it. The deck's not moving, buddy. Is it active, Chris? Okay. So we're in 52 countries. We're up to 27,000 breathers all over the world. I'm going to move through this pretty quick, guys, because of time. So this picture you see here, this is really near and dear to my heart. So I was raised on a big ranch in southwestern Colorado. If anybody's seen the TV show Yellowstone, that's exactly how I was raised. I could rope off a horse like there's no tomorrow. I could talk to cattle. We had 2,000 head of sheep. We were raised exactly like that without the fed fights. So all the people that you see lined up here, going from being a rancher to being an arborist to being a real estate investor, I always had a heart for people. And this lineup of individuals you see here were all formerly homeless. So I owned a real estate investment company called R Investments. We started local. We flipped about 400 homes in Denver in 3.5, 4 years. Then we moved into multifamily. Then I moved all across the country in 9 states, tons of different cities, and I targeted the roughest neighborhoods in the country. It's the roughest neighborhoods in St. Louis, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Nashville. The list just goes on and on. And we'd go into these cities and we would buy the roughest, toughest properties you can imagine. Buying apartment buildings for $5,000 to $15,000 a unit. And I'd roll in with an entire team. It was like the military. We'd bring in our own Connexes, our own trucks, our own people, and we'd kind of quarantine the whole thing. But we did it from a place of conscious capitalism. I love conscious capitalism with all my heart. I want to tear down crony capitalism with everything that's inside of it. It breaks me up emotionally because I'm so against crony capitalism. And it's killing our country, it's killing our people, it's brainwashing us to the nth degree. And so in conscious capitalist efforts, and because of my love for people, we have a construction company within the vertical. So we have a property management company that manages the properties, a nonprofit that brings financial empowerment to the people who live in the properties, because I don't believe in displacement. I believe that we need to come in, buy the properties, and empower the people to live there, even through the renovation, through the rising of the rents, because people need change. So we had the nonprofit that would help with that. Then I had a construction company. And this construction company only hired homeless people. So we would take people off the streets, we'd house them in these properties. They were large, 150 units up to 787 units. We'd house them in the property, we'd give them the tools of the trade, we'd train them. And we used Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton's biology belief in falling in love with the future self. And we built a software company to build a SaaS software model to streamline the renovation construction industry and utilize unskilled workforce to create skilled workforce. And I put all of Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton's teachings in there. And a lot of what I regurgitate is Dr. Bruce Lipton as a biologist. I love biology because if you understand spirituality and you understand biology, the world is your oyster. And so I was able to build a program with my team that would take these people off the streets with an 80% success rate, regardless of what past they had, regardless of what substance abuse they had, and reincorporate them back into the working society into a successful manner. And we would do that by changing the environment and all kinds of things. But part of that big process was breathwork. So I would fly around the world 300 days a year, around the United States, 300 days a year. And when everybody saw the guy in the suit show up, I know you guys are surprised with my suit. But when the guy in the suit would show up, we'd do breath work. And so I'd have people in a room, 40, 50 homeless people, and they were required to live with us. We had no success if they didn't live with us. So they would all come up and meet in a morning muster in the morning. If they were late, they'd have to sing a song in front of everybody. So we had all this fun of loving accountability. And then they would all line out to breath work. Some would fall asleep. Some would have a serious transcendental moment. And the breath work was changing their lives so much that they kept coming up and asking for an access to breath work. Only thing I could ever do was point them to YouTube. Well, YouTube has all the other stuff on it. It's brainwashing, not good for you. And then they get commercials because you can't subscribe and all these other things. So I decided to build a breathwork app for those angels in my world. And so the reason why the breath source is available to you today is because of that. And so I love to give credit where credit is due. I thought I was an angel in their world. That's what my ego told me. But truth to be told, they were an angel in my world. They were an angel in everyone's world who the breath source can come to bless, who we can awaken breath to on the entire planet now. So I love those guys. That was a huge part of my life, guys and gals. So this is one of our properties in Nashville, sitting there doing a breathwork session. And truly, it's a big part of my life. All right, so what is breath? We talked about this yesterday. Our body's made of 99 to 14 power of empty space. Breath is made of empty space. It all comes together, and we're biohacking through breath. The oldest animal on the planet that we know of today, I know that there's potentially something else. What is the sea turtle? Does anyone know how long the oldest sea turtle has been recorded to live? Yes, you're right, 450 years, or 400 years. So 400 years. How does a turtle live 400 years? Does anyone know? It's not because they breathe out their butt either. Does anyone know? Okay, yeah. So they breathe once every 45 minutes to an hour. So when a turtle is sedentary, which they are much of the time, they breathe every 45 minutes to an hour. Oxidative stress is real. You over-breathing is genuinely breaking down your body, okay? So love the turtle, love all about it. We're gonna keep cruising through here because I only have so much time. We talked about bad breathing yesterday, mouth breathing yesterday. So what happens when you mouth breathe? It activates your sympathetic nervous system. It activates your fight or flight. We talked about the sympathetic and parasympathetic yesterday. It speeds up your heart rate when you breathe through your mouth. It deforms your jaw and teeth. Has anybody ever seen a dog, a deer, a cow, or anything with a deformed teeth? They're never deformed. Their teeth are always perfectly straight because they breathe from their mouth from the time they're born till the time they die. It creates very low levels of nitric oxide. We didn't talk about this wonderful molecule yesterday, but does anybody know what Viagra is loaded with? It's loaded with nitric oxide. And so the reason why they were giving COVID patients high levels of Viagra and it was wiping the COVID out was because it's antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral. And it dilates the blood vessels. So what did Gary say yesterday? An oxygenated environment is a disease-free environment because it creates alkalinity. And so this molecule nitric oxide is made in the nasal cavity of the nose, and it's made in the saliva of the mouth. If any of you in here use mouthwash, I would highly recommend that you don't use any mouthwash with alcohol in it. Definitely don't use Crest or anything with fluoride in it, but you be really cautious about the mouthwash you use. I only use a specific mouthwash from Zach Bush, and he didn't even want it to be a mouthwash, but has dirt in it and the microbiome from the planet and all kinds of cool things because I want my nitric oxide to thrive. You guys can talk to me about that a little bit later. Bad breath. Everybody in here knows somebody with bad breath. Bad breath comes from breathing in and out of the mouth. It causes brain fog, poor sleep, snoring, and it shrinks your nasal cavity. I can't tell you how many people say, I can't breathe through the nose because it's like, well, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it truly is, it's real. And when I started breathing through my nose, my face actually changed a little bit. My nasal passages is dilated. I have a deviated septum, and it stopped even bothering me. You don't use it, you lose it. Every 2 milliliters of CO2 that you blow out of the mouth, guys, and it's 2 milliliters is very small. Every 2 milliliters you blow out of the mouth of carbon dioxide, you're going to lose 2% of cognitive function of the brain. Every 2 milliliters. So people that are talking all day long, if they don't stop and breathe through the nose during their talking, they're going to blow off too much CO2. So what is a healthy breath? We talked about this, you guys all know, so I'm going to cruise through it, in and out, in for 5, out for 6. You don't need to pee at night if you learn to breathe, if you learn to close the mouth while you sleep. Who's heard of mouth tape? Awesome. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, I'm breathing through my mouth at night. How do you know if you're breathing through your mouth? You wake up with a dry mouth, or you wake up and you have to go pee. When you have to go pee at night, it's because you're typically snoring or your mouth is dropped open, and it activates a chemical inside of your liver that actually causes you to not utilize the fluids that are in your body at that time, and it causes you to have to go pee. So when you breathe in and out of the nose, you need 60% less fluids than you would normally need. Those joggers and runners and the people that are active in here, if you would learn to breathe through your nose, you'll use 60% less fluid when you're out on the trails. You have a lot more energy. You're breathing through the nose, warms and cleanses the air. We talked about that yesterday. It keeps you in the parasympathetic nervous system and fully oxygenates your 26 for every other foundational tissues. And the nitric oxide piece, guys, is really one of the largest pieces. You want to get that nitric oxide into the body. So when the nitric oxide comes in from the nasal cavity, which is about the size of your fist, so your fist is proportionate to your body size, your nasal cavity has all this nitric oxide in. It's the best way to get it. It scrapes it like a little turbo. It comes down into the upper portion of the alveoli. Then it comes into the red blood cells, and it merges with transporters in the red blood cell, hemoglobin, and then it's off-put into your cells and your tissues when the carbon dioxide is also taken on and the ATP is input to the cells. So I can't tell you how important it is. And one of the coolest functions of nasal oxide, we call it, is it raises the blood from the lower portion of the lungs to the upper portion of the lungs. So when you have low nitric oxide, what happens is the blood drops from the upper portion of the lungs down to the lower portion of the lungs, and it just sits. How many of you know that your heart doesn't circulate all your blood through the body? Your lungs are a massive piece of getting the blood through your body. And so they sit in the bottom of the lungs. So it's really, really important that you understand the power of nasal oxide. All right, when can we breathe through the mouth? I have personally, and I worked out today with a trainer in here, breathe through my nose the whole time. I run breathing through my nose, and when I get really gassed, I breathe in my nose and I breathe out my mouth. My breaths become shorter because I need more. And I'll breathe in the nose and out the mouth because it's still balancing my carbon dioxide, still heating up the air, cleansing the air, giving the nitric oxide, and then I'm moving more because I'm breathing in and out of the mouth. But I do see a cognitive decline when I breathe out of my mouth. I absolutely do. I ride hard enduro motorcycles, toughest trails in the nation. And when I'm on it, I mean, we're flying through the rockiest terrain you could ever imagine. When I go to breathing through my mouth, I instantly feel my brain slow down. Instantly. So something to really be aware of. So the conclusion is, guys, breathe through your nose, mouth tape at night. I think the best mouth tape in the world for men is hostage tape. I know it's funny, but it's real. Hostage tape is really good on guys' faces because of the whiskers and things of that nature. Women can use hostage tape too, but it's tough on my mom's face. She likes some other different types. So I encourage you to experiment with that. Those of you in here that are on CPAPs, my dad got off his CPAP within 1 week of being on mouth tape. 1 week. And he's like, man, I feel exactly the same when I tape my mouth as when I sleep with my PAP on. So big deal. All right, guys, I know I had to haul through that. I had somebody come up yesterday. We're going to go a tiny bit over time. I'm sorry. But we had somebody come up yesterday and talk about what can I do with my clients at Osteostrong to be able to give them something that is a tool that they can use. So pay attention for a minute, then we're going to do a quick breath work. So when you're dealing with people that have been programmed a certain way for their entire lives, you all know how tough it is because you deal with them every day. They come in and they have a program that says, I can't, and they're living that victim mentality story, right? So we got to turn that victim mentality story into an experience. Because once somebody has experienced something, you can't unexperience it. Consciousness cannot go backwards. Okay, so awareness is being aware of our surroundings. Consciousness is being aware of the inside. So conscious awareness of the inside cannot go backwards. So once you give them that experience, it's going to expand. So I personally think that the most simple, effective breath work that you can give anybody that gives them an experience is box breathing. Who knows box breathing? I bet half the people in there. Awesome. So I'm going to teach you a real quick box breathing method. So just sit up for a second and hands down to the side. This is something you can do with any age, and they have fun with it because it gives their mind something to do. The 8 inches between their ears are what you're fighting against. It's not them as a human, it's just the programming. So box breathing is this. You're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. So with kids, they love it because they follow the box in their mind. And when we return to the mind of the child, we all love it in the first place. So do this with me. We're going to count down to 1, and we're going to all do it together. So 3, 2, 1, exhale. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Who filled up their lungs too fast? It's tough, right? Got to breathe slow and low. So now all you got to do is take your foot off the gas and just breathe a little less in. So when you have a client, how do we teach them how to breathe properly? Who can tell me from yesterday? Come on, guys. Who can tell me? Don't be embarrassed. Dominant hand on the belly. So and this works for me almost every time. Is I come in and I put somebody come up here real fast. I'm sorry, we're running out of time right now. Somebody come up here real quick. Yeah, come on. Not the man. Come on. Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. So let's say that Kyle's breathing through the chest. So big puff from the chest. Your belly will go in. See his belly go in? Okay, that's how a lot of the world breathes. Okay, so we're not going to tell Kyle he's wrong. We're just going to tell Kyle how we can do it differently. So Kyle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand on your belly. And when I say exhale, I'm going to push all the air out. And then when I say inhale, I want you to push my hand towards that wall. Okay?
I'm not going to hurt you. Don't worry.
Okay, good. So exhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, push my hand towards the wall. Perfect. Exhale. And I'm actually putting pressure. I want him to feel the pressure of my hand pushing his belly button into his spine, and then inhaling and pushing my hand out. Because what that's doing is it's firing nerves in his brain that says, I got something competing against me. I'm going to take this on. Okay? So that's exactly how you do that. Then you say, take your dominant hand, right? Then you take your non-dominant hand. Now I want you to press in on your belly. So you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to exhale and push all the air out. Now you push your hand towards the wall. Keep that pressure on your hand. Perfect. Now see how his belly's filling up within his chest? Perfect breath. So the key is to teach them how to breathe first. Good job, brother. You've done this before, man. So the key is to teach them how to breathe first properly. That's the first hurdle. And then the second piece of the puzzle is then teaching them how to do something fun, which is box breathing. So I don't recommend going too big. You can do a box breath with a 2 count. In 2, hold 2, out 2, hold 2. Read your people. So you got to learn to read the signature of the energetic frequency coming off that person, what they're capable of. Start with 2, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5. That's what's fun about box breathing. I've enjoyed it all the way up to 18 count. So you guys can do that, okay? I know we're out of time. Can we do a quick breath session? All right, guys, so go ahead and sit back, sit upright. We're going to go quick DMT alkaline breathing, and then I'm going to throw in one new one, which is called Soma breath work. It's in for 2, out for 4, because when we breathe out longer than we breathe in, what does it do? It lowers the CO2 exhalation, but it also it activates what part of the nervous system? Parasympathetic. Anytime you breathe out longer than you breathe in, you're going to bring the body down into a calm state of being. Does everybody remember the breath holds from yesterday? I count you down. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. And then we count it down, and then inhale, hold. Gas exchange reset, and then we go into the next step. All right, guys, cue the music, Chris. Sit upright, spine straight. Different music. So it was going to be a dance class, but I decided to make it a breath class. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right, guys. Let's go inside. Spine upright, hands on your knees, feet flat on the ground. Let's get ready to connect to that inner state of being that's calling us home every single day. That still small voice. When I count down to 1, we're going to exhale all together. Breathing in unison. 3, 2, 1, exhale. Here we go. Two, one. Last one. Big breath in. Hold it. And release. Pressing pause on life. Going inside. Relax your hands. Relax your body. Relax your body. Thoughts drift away. Holding this for 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Hold. Gas exchange reset. Body's coming back into stasis. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten around. Number 2. Release. Here we go. Big belly breaths. Keep breathing. Follow that rhythm. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Stepping into the grandest version of yourself. 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Hold. And release. Feeling the particular sensation of the hands. Take the mind into the body, scanning the body, slowing the heart rate down, feeling the breath, holding this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Hold, squeeze. Feel that energy rush as that gas exchange reset occurs. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Now that you guys are in front, third and final round, it's going to be a big round. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Make some noise on that exhale. It's breath work. Last big one of the day. Commit to this free program. To a new time, to a new place, to a new body, to a new mind. Come on, you're almost there. Keep on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Take a big breath and hold. Hold. Feel the rush in. Feel that bliss. Holding this. 3, 2, 1. Release. Go inside. Pressing pause on the let go of any fear, any pains, okay. Lots of arms, legs, eyes. Holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Big inhale. Pull the energy up, bring it all the way up the spine, all the focus and attention awareness of the crown of the head. Blast the energy out. How big can you feel? Holding this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Quickly bringing you back into stasis. In for 2, stay in the eyes closed. In for 2, out for 4. Here we go. In two, out, two, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two, find that energy in your movements. Find that fear, find that pain, and let it go through this breath. You might feel yourself become emotional. This is what breath is for. It's designed to allow that energy to leave the body. The sound of breath is the way. It's the sound of God. It's the sound of source. In for two, out. What is in your life that is no longer serving? Let the breath carry that. Out. In, out. In, out. Final two breaths. In, two, out. Last two, in, two, out. Last one, in, two, out. Last one, in. And just release. And just keep your eyes closed. Now here in the lungs. And relax. Final hold. Feeling into peace. Tranquility and wellness. It's waiting for you every